You all seem to really enjoy the last one of these, so let's continue. We return to the third Book of Enoch, within the kingdom of God alongside Rabbi Ishmael, as he follows the eponymous Enoch in his transformed state through the celestial seven heavens. Prior to meeting the princes above, the Ophanim and Seraphim, Ishmael is guided into the seventh heaven, the realm which holds the Lord himself. He bears witness to many angelic princes and the Hayoth, the heavenly figures from Ezekiel's vision. And then he comes to the next angel we are discussing, Recubiel. Now, we're not giving much in the way of how Recubiel looks, so assumedly he takes a typical form of an angel that we would be used to, luminous beyond reason, pure as wool, and bearing some accompaniment of fire or lightning. Terrifying, to be sure, but not cosmically so as some of the latter angels we discuss. But his position is perhaps one that overrules the Ophanim that Ophaniel looks over. You see, Recubiel's duty is to oversee the wheels of the chariot of God, the Merkabah. He is appointed to be over the wheels of the Merkabah, and they are given into his charge. And how many are the wheels? 8, 2 in each direction, and there are 4 winds accompanying them around. And these are their names: the storm wind, the tempest, the strong wind, and the wind of the earthquake. From there, the throne has gone on to be described in more detail, how there are rivers of fire that run in the 4 directions beneath it, how it sits on 4 clouds, each burning and illuminated, and how the great heavenly figures from Ezekiel's vision rest among the turning Ophanim. But then we get to the part in which Recubiel's purpose shines, as the chariot begins to move and the sound of the Lord is extolled. When the time draws nigh for the recital of the song, the multitude of wheels are moved, the multitude of clouds tremble, all of the chieftains are made afraid, all of the horsemen rage, all of the mighty are excited, all of the host are affrighted, all of the troops are in fear, all of the appointed haste away, all the princes and armies are dismayed, all the servants faint, and all the angels and divisions travail with pain. For truly, the song of the Almighty is a grand notion in the 7th heaven, one that shakes the very world itself and draws all attention. And one can only imagine, if heaven shudders when the wheels move in regards to a prayer, what will happen when God moves. The Hayoth, the divine beings of the vision of Ezekiel, not to be confused with the Ophanim. These are the 4 multi-headed winged forms that loom around the throne in heaven. These divine creatures, as their name implies, sit in a weird way, by not being the Malach or the messenger angels, or being the Sarim or the princes of heaven. However, they do have an angelic prince that oversees them, Hayiel. Again, we're not given a physical description of Hayiel, which leads me to believe he too looks like a quote-unquote ordinary angel, something the reader would attribute to the divine, but again, it's not that cosmically horror attention grabber. And that fact that it doesn't grab attention, what makes him interesting? Well, his purpose. He is appointed over the holy Hayoth, and smites the Hayoth with lashes of fire, and glorifies them when they give praise and glory and rejoicing. And he causes them to make haste to say, Holy, and blessed be the Lord, I am. To smite, of course, is to strike or pass judgment, and he does so with lashes of fire. But remember, if we are assuming he's an angel, which has the appearance of a person, for example, he would be striking the Hayoth, which, while we don't get a size description of the book of Ezekiel, but in 3rd Enoch, we do get one. Each of the Hayoth is the space of the whole world, and each has 4 faces, and each face is the face of the east. Each one has 4 wings, and each is like the roof of the universe. And each one has faces in the middle of faces and wings in the middle of wings. The size of their faces is the size of 248 faces, and the wings the size of 365 wings. Each one is crowned with 2,000 crowns on their head, and each crown is like unto the bow in the clouds. Haliel's purpose is to assure that the Hayoth, these planet-sized creatures with wings that stretch outward and hold the glory of the universe, are in line and singing the praises of the Lord. This is to show that all is within the grasp of God, and he is the one who created and oversees all of them, and none are greater than he. And now for someone who should have been in the last video. We have the overseer of the gatekeepers of Eden, the prince of the cherubim, Kerubiel. Kerubiel is a mighty prince, full of power and strength, a prince full of highness, and highness is with him, a righteous prince, and righteousness is with him, a holy prince, and holiness is with him, a prince glorified by 1,000 hosts, exalted by 10,000 armies. At his wrath the earth trembles, at his anger the camps are moved. For fear of him the foundations are shaken, at his rebuke the heavens do tremble. As typical, the power of the angelic prince is awe-inspiring. All of heaven rebukes at his words. He shakes heaven, and his anger shakes the earth, and he is cloaked in holiness and righteousness. And that, of course, goes along with this description. His stature is full of burning coals. The height of his stature is the height of the 7 heavens. The breadth of his stature is the breadth of the 7 heavens. The thickness of his stature is that of the 7 heavens. The opening of his mouth is like a lamp of fire. His tongue is a consuming flame. His eyebrows are unto the splendor of lightning. His eyes are like the sparks of brilliance. His countenance is like a burning fire. And there is a crown of holiness upon his head, on which the explicit name is graven, and lightnings do go forth from it. And the bow of the Shekinah is between his shoulders, and his sword is like unto lightning, and upon his loins there are arrows like unto a flame. Upon his armor and shield there is a consuming fire, and upon his neck there are coals of burning juniper, and around him there are coals of burning fire. His body is full of eyes, and wings are covering the whole of his high stature. On his right hand a flame is burning, on his left a fire is glowing, and coals are burning from it, and firebrands go forth from his body, and lightning is cast from his face. With him there is always thunder upon thunder. By his side there is even earthquake upon earthquake. To this point, Kerubiel has the most elaborate description, not only of his physical form, a colossus of burning fire, and countless dozens of wings that stretch along that form, but his weaponry, a blazing sword of lightning, arrows of fire, lightning that escapes from his burning mouth and brow, an ever-flowing aura of coals, fire, and lightning. And perhaps, most frightening of all, upon his brow a crown with a tetragrammaton written upon it, the true name of God. Kerubiel serves as the ultimate cherub, upon his back the rainbow, and sitting place of the Lord, the Shekinah, mimicking the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant, which bears 2 of his cherubim to hold the Lord when he comes to the Holy of Holies. But with this merciful aspect, so too comes the aspect of the guard, the same God that prevents humanity from re-entering Eden and that would protect the Lord from needing to raise his hands against an adversary. Now again, the power of the Lord is displayed in the fact that even these are beneath him, those capable of disciplining planet-sized creatures, causing heaven to tremble and bearing the responsibility of tending to his throne. They all sit beneath creation itself, and all they do is in his name. And what we get are final boss types, flaming whips that scourge planets, words that cause earthquakes, and presence that can move the foundations of the very heavens. Until next time, thanks for watching.